Brittany, Misha, and I began with presenting students with a cross-curriculum investigation into the issue of food deserts. What are they? What are the impacts? What are the solutions? And how can students play an active part in being a part of the solution? Food deserts are found in areas where access to affordable and good quality nutritious food is limited, mostly in rural areas and urban areas. Implications of living in a food desert have dire consequences for an individual's health, specifically the development of diabetes and obesity. Residents of food deserts may rely more on convenience stores and fast food restaurants since access to grocery stores is limited. These convenience stores and fast food restaurants don't typically sell the variety of foods needed for a healthy diet, such as fresh foods, vegetables, whole grains, fresh dairy, and lean meat products. If they do sell these products, they often cost a lot more than they do at grocery stores, and this puts those who live in food deserts at a financial and nutritional disadvantage. So we charge our students that they will begin their journey investigating food deserts through a variety of activities that focus on communication, research, and reflections on their own learning. We first have students identify their opinions about access to fresh food in their own communities. They have to observe location patterns of food deserts using a USDA database, and they have to brainstorm the potential causes and consequences of food deserts as they work in pairs or as they work in groups. We also ask the students during this portion of our cross-curriculum instructional plan that they continuously reflect and share and convey their ideas verbally in class through discussion in pairs and in groups. And they also had to complete reflections digitally on Padlet as well. Students develop their understanding of food deserts and the potential solutions that are currently used today to combat the food desert and their impact on certain communities. We charge the students with the task of becoming civically involved. We actually wanted the students to create a 2D plot of a community garden in which they had to use formulas to price out the cost of their garden. They were given a budget. They had to research the cost and the number of bags of soil needed, how many seeds they needed. They also had to plot them appropriately according to their directions, how much room would the plants take up, and so forth. And basic gardening tools, shovels, spades, etc. If there was any money left over in their budget, the students had to research an organization that worked to combat food deserts, and they would donate the rest of that money, to that organization. Once students created a 2D plot of their garden, they were given the task to use Minecraft to construct a model of their community garden. The goal of this activity was to provide an engaging, problem-based learning experience that involved the use of technology, creativity, and collaboration within the gamified Minecraft platform. So what actually happens when you leave students alone to learn and discover? During our pilot program, we figured out that creativity, critical thinking occurred. Students were engaged. They were no longer wanting to escape our classroom, and they were excited to learn. We made the student the center of, his or her learning environment and created a lesson that hopefully, they'll be talking about for years from now. Students created and graded their own raised bed garden, which were designed to help to combat food deserts in their own community. They collaborated with their peers as well as members of the community using math, science, and technology and hands-on creativity to construct this raised bed garden. It would actually contain the plants that they chose and mapped out in their 2D garden plot and in their Minecraft garden simulation as well. The students would compare their calculations of area, cost of goods, amount of soil needed for their original 2D design to the actual garden that they planted and reflect on what worked, and what did not. And in building a community garden that combines the 4 C's, it also creates a sense of pride in what's been accomplished and an acknowledgement that they are able to find solutions to problems that affect, those that live around them. Food deserts may have been something that was not associated with their area necessarily. Some of them live, within walking distance of a store, but they discovered it was just, so much more and affected so many people than just themselves. From the reflections while piloting the program to the feedback from the classmates and students, we see the importance of creating this project, how it relates to the 4 C's, how it answers the questions, why are we learning this? We also see how we can build on the project to create something slightly different from where we started and be open to discover something just below the surface. Thank you for listening.